Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, straight from the Netherlands. GameTalk here. PEC Zwolle, Ajax, 1-3. It was, don't ask me about the game. I mean, luckily, I'm not the one who should answer. We'll give the floor that in a bit to Luke. Yesterday, our competitors won. I'm not talking about Twente. I'm not talking about AZ. I'm talking about NEC. I'm talking about Going Eagles. So we had a big task just to win. We did, but let's give the floor to Luke and see what his thoughts are about the game. So to start with, what did you think of the formation and then the lineup when you first saw it?
Do you know what? For the last few weeks, I have no idea who's playing where. Honestly, whenever for the last few games before international break, when he started putting Henderson at the back, Taylor left wing back, things like that. But when you see it as a formation, or even when they put the lineup on Twitter and it comes in the lines, I have no idea what's going on. I have
Yeah,
no clue, and
possibly.
you're not exactly end up spending, and that's the first problem is that when you go into a game, you don't even know who's playing where, and that shows where we are as Ajax right now. I hate this formation. I'm really pissed off. I'm sorry to use that language, but I
No,
really
go
am
ahead.
because we're not even doing basics, and and we're too square and too sticking to the formation too much, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay,
But
no, no,
you
fully,
know,
fully, fully. So, well, I mean, we heard your opinion on the formation. Let's talk more about the game itself. Uh, People who didn't watch the game see a 1-3, easy game. I mean, probably one of those games that we have easily won. And next game, but tell me your view of the game for the people, especially for the people who didn't watch the game, and also, of course, for the people who watched the game, to see whether they agree with you.
pathetic. So pitiful that performance, right? Um, you're paying Zwolle, right? I don't like to disrespect other teams, but they're not a strong team. They're a team that always battle for at the bottom of the Eredivisie, the relegation battles, or very, very low in the table, never getting towards the top half really, unless you have a crazy season. But we made them play good football. To the fact they even scored 2 goals that were disallowed is and then one actual goal is ridiculous. And at one point in the first half, and a lot for the second, but there was one specific point in the first half where I was actually questioning like what our out of possession tactics are, because we just drop into our own box and we just sit there in our own box while they whack crosses in, and they put crosses in, and they're playing 1-2. There was one of the players who did a skill, he did a roulette around one, like, what is happening? Zwolle players are doing that to us, and it shows the disrespect that people have towards Ajax now, because they know that we're bad and we should be feared, and we were always feared and should still be feared, but we're not. People come, whether we're home or away, people know that when they play Ajax, they have a good chance of winning at the moment, and rightfully so, because if I'm a team like Zwolle or NAC or someone, I'm looking at the opportunity to take Ajax and think, well, then they're struggling, they're not good individually at the moment, they're not good as a unit, let's try and score as many goals as we can. And today we could have easily seen three or four goals from Zwolle today, had it not for Ramai again, who every single week, every time you play, seems to pull
He's,
out 3-4 really good saves
yeah, he's
when we shouldn't
saving.
even be in that position. We shouldn't even be in that position because even these shots and these chances, because we have to be better. We have 5 defenders now, and we're conceding the same amount of chances that we had when we had 4. I don't understand it, Sabi. I really don't understand it. And so Tyler's not even playing at the moment, so we can't even say that it's his fault at this time. So who's the scapegoat now? Is Van Skip for me.
For you, Van Schip. Okay, so
Yes.
okay, we'll get back to the game in a bit about the way we played, but I want to highlight a bit on the goals that we made. Your view on that, because I mean, if you ask me, there were quite some good goals yeah, scored today by Ajax.
Yeah, I mean, there were moments in the game where there was a small amount of quality. Gotts obviously getting the ball, and driving forward, playing that through ball to Agpom, for example, and he was quite
Yeah,
lucky with his finish. You know, it looked like the
True.
defender was going to block it. But, sometimes you take that luck and you score. And then the ball from Tahirovic for the last goal, for example, went over a guy who took a really, really good touch. And I'm very happy for him that he managed to get that assist, because it's the kind of thing that he needed was something to go his way, right? But the little moments that we had that we scored does not take away from the overall performance. The goals were fine. The goals were good. They were nice. There were things you like to see, but we do it so inconsistently. We don't see that enough, right? We there was a chance where Van der Bomen played the ball out wide and Bergwijn got the ball. I thought he was going to cut on his right and shoot. He tried doing something else on his left, and then Akpom come flying with a header. We don't see that enough, because throughout the game, as the game goes on, we end up just getting everything in the middle, and it becomes a big midfield battle where we can't even keep the ball. We can't even make chances because we're too passive and we're too square with our formation on the ball. We're too structured. There's not enough movement. It's too static. And this is what happens when you play someone like Taylor, who is not a left back. He's not even a defender, and you're playing him at left back. And the man management for me is ridiculous. But nonetheless, we got the win, so that's something, right? It's 3 points, and the goals, they were good for what they were at the time,
Yeah. Okay. I have for me, I have an issue which I can't I can't understand why it keeps happening at Ajax. I mean, when we look at the game, we suffer a lot in the last. This game, we suffered a lot in the last 25 minutes of the first half, and most of the second half, and also in transition. Why in hell are we still suffering against such teams? Why are they pressing us? Why are we keep on go to the back instead of pressuring them as a team? Do you know why? Because
I
don't know,
Sabi. I have no idea. The thing is, you can change something so many times, right, before you realize that the problem isn't the shape or the formation to an extent, right? I don't like 5 at the back, right? I'm one of those people that I like a 4-3-3. It's nice, it's normal. But then obviously I don't mind having 3 players at the back when players move within the game. So if we're in possession and Hato thinks I'm going to step up into midfield, or the left back goes and becomes a centre mid or something, and you end up with 3 at the back for a little bit, I don't mind. I don't mind the players move all the time. But, when we get the ball, we play out and everyone just stands still. I don't understand. And then we go into an issue where teams press us because they know that we're not comfortable with the ball all the time. And when we get the ball, when it goes to certain players, they target them. Because let's be real. Hato can have the ball at his feet, no problem. Ramai can have the ball at his feet, no problem. And then who else? If it goes to Satalo, he ends up doing all sorts. Reg can stop slipping over today, right? Do you want to give him the ball then if he slips? If he slips, and you're any other opposition player, you're going to press him in case he slips, right? And I'm not saying that's French fault. That literally could just be his luck today. But you're going to press those kind of players if those things keep happening, and you're going to press the ones that are uncomfortable. And then it gets to the point where Hato and Ramai are the only players that can play out with the ball. So you're going to press them, and they're not going to have any options, because you've got Taylor, who's not a left back or a defender at all, and then you have Sosa, who panics whenever he gets the ball. And so then the only other option, and the thing is, when you play football, you have to have that long option. For me, you play short to draw the press, right? You want players to press you, so then you can find the next pass, right? And that's why Bobby's so important, because it is an out ball, and it works. Whenever he pushes high, he's up high by himself, he can receive it. And Akpom does it to an extent, just not as well. But when it keeps happening, it just becomes boring, and the other team know how to adapt. You need to be able to mix and change it, and we don't have the quality to do so. We absolutely don't have the quality to do so. Do you know what I mean? Hence why we've had to go 5 at the back, but then you lose an extra player in midfield. Or the biggest thing that does my head in about it is that we're playing 5 at the back. We got Taylor as a left wing back for some reason, but it would make sense if you got Linson, you got Taylor as wide midfielders, but they come inside and make a 4-man midfield, like the Van Gaal 3-4-3 diamond type thing. If you had some kind of variation of that, it's fine with the wingers staying wide. But you're having Bergwijn staying wide, Taylor staying wide. And I'm like, well, Taylor doesn't have to overlap or anything because he's not a left back. So I don't understand anything what's happening. I would rather play Sosa at left wing, as in a 5-back, a left wing, So at least you have a left-footed player, or even Forbes. Put Forbes there, and he can run up and down that wing. He's fast.
You're saying Forbes.
But no, but at least he's left-footed, not Taylor. Not Taylor.
Yeah.
If you want an attacking player forward, you put and you want someone that's going to be wide all the time, put someone like, you know, Sosa or Forbes there. Don't have Taylor there. That I've never understood it, because he's not even coming inside. He's not even offering an inside pass all the time. He's trying to stay wide, create width, but you know, he's not a left back. And it's the same with Linson on the right side. I know he was rotating with Hotz a lot of the time, but these are attacking players. If you have attacking players like this, play an attacking formation of 4-3-3 with a 10 or something, and then and dominate on the ball. But we can't even do that properly. And honestly, it's really annoying me, because we're not even doing the basics right. To be honest.
Interesting to hear, by the way, from you is that you saw them playing with a 5-man defense. Well, Van Schip literally stated during his interview prior to the game, we're playing a 3-4-3 system. Did you see actually a 3-4-3 system, or a 5-2-3 system, or something else? I don't know.
Do you know what? I don't. You know, I definitely saw 5. I definitely saw 5 at the back, and then you see a 2 in midfield, which is Tahirovic and Van der Bomen, and then you see you know, Hillinson will have to work hard. He'll be a lot deeper at times trying to receive the ball, but then Bergwijn will stay really high, because that's what Bergwijn does. And Hotz is trying to piece everything together. And Akpom comes deep, and you know, so you know that's the kind of movement you do want, but it doesn't help when we're trying to build from the back. You know, there's no one moving to create space to progress the ball. You know, and so actually, you know, but a lot of the time you see a 5 at the back because we don't have the ball for long periods. You know, Zwolle had the ball for so long at the end of the first half and basically the whole of the second half.
And dangerous. Not only having the ball, but they were very dangerous.
They were confident with it because they knew we were there and we were vulnerable, because we're always vulnerable. Because there's no one on. First of all, there's no one taking charge on the pitch, and it's when Henderson's not there, who's doing it, right? Which is sad. Okay, and then second of all, there's no one on the touchline that's taking charge, right? Van Schip, what is he? I don't see. Every time the camera goes to him, he's not doing anything. He's not saying anything. He's just sat down and he's biting his lip, or he stood up and he's biting his lip. And I'm like, why does your lip need someone fighting the whole time? Yeah, he's not doing anything, which worries me if he's going to be head of coaching at Ajax. It really, really does worry me.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that a little bit of Grinta is missing? You know what Grinta is, right?
Yeah. Alvarez.
Do you think that's the missing piece of the puzzle, like the as you saw with Tagliafico, with Martinez, with Alvarez, like the bit of aggressiveness, fight for the team, and being like, you know, give your heart, give your soul for the team, die for the team on the pitch.
No,
do you see that
absolutely? Now? I see none of that. Right, I only see it when Hato has to make a last second tackle, right? When he tries to put his body on line, he's always covering. But you see none of that now, and in my opinion, I don't see it. But also, that's not the only thing we need, right? So if we go back to the way England was back, 20 years ago, all they had was, passion, right? They had only passion. They only wanted to, but there was no intelligence, right? In my opinion. Yeah. The Netherlands and Spain, etc., have been so far ahead of their time with the way they play football, the creativity, the 1-2s, the nice football, right? We don't have enough intelligent players like that anymore. So it's not like we need Grinta as well. We need that. We will always miss it when you have it. When you have Alessandro Martinez, Alvarez, etc., Tagliafico, you need all that, absolutely. Yeah. But you need smart players. And the thing is with those players, they were smart as well. Yeah, I know we always said that Alvarez wasn't the most technical player, okay, but he was still better than the players that we had now because he made up for it in his Grinta, right? But you have players now that aren't that great technically or mentally, but also aren't great physically and don't have the desire to play because they don't understand what it means to play for the club. But also it stems from the top. What kind of passion is the manager showing? What is Maduro doing? I've not seen anything, right? Yeah. And because everything's a mess, and I know we're fixing it, and I know we're trying to progress with Cruz, etc., and things like that. But we need to fix something now. We need to put like plaster over the wound straight away to see how the end of the season. Yeah. And it doesn't help when we don't even know what players are starting where and the lineup from the manager. And then for him to come out and say, "Well, I see this, I see that," Are you? So who's wrong? You or the millions of Ajax fans around the world that watch it week in, week out? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
no, fully agree.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, now clear, Luke. Well, what do you think about going through the comments to see what everybody has to say, and then
Let's go.
have some final questions? Well, Steve was early. Is it this Ajax counter football is doing my head in dot dot dot? Little to no depth or dynamism, and then the coach decides to substitute the only player that can give that. Hots. I assume you agree with that, right?
Yeah, Koss was good, but and the thing is, he's always good because he's direct and he wants to drive with the ball and he's creative. It's not like Bergwijn that will run with the ball and do nothing or shoot and from like 40 yards and that's it, right? But I will say having Bergwijn back is better than Forbes. I know I said I'll play him wide forward, but that's only if we had to play instead of Taylor.
Yeah.
But it's nice actually having someone else other than Forbes because there are times when being only Forbes on the left really done my head in. But Hots was good, and Linson worked really hard as well, and he always does. So that's something we kind of get used to. So you don't really mention it as much, but he still tries. And Guy actually really well when he come on. I thought going forward because he got the assist and things like that. So Koss was good.
Yeah, no, fully agree with that on that as well. Corentin Le Chevalier, hope I pronounced it right. We clearly mentioned, yeah, we should have lost clearly. We have to be honest, we don't deserve to win. Not even a draw, Luke?
No.
Or
we were so bad. So bad. Like,
here.
But also, sorry, defensively, for the goal that they scored, why were all our players just all over the floor? There was no structure. For 5 at the back to have no structure in the defensive transition, you've got Tahirovic sliding for no reason. All you got to do is stand in front of the way, and he slid. And the Zwolle
Couldn't
player,
understand it as well.
do you know what I mean? And then Wrench slipped again in the box, and it. Listen, carry on with the comments, man.
Okay, let's look further. Highlight of the season: Ajax remain the only team that finished the season with unbeaten run 1995. Yeah, I think that's the only highlight of the season, indeed, if you call it that way. And it's not something that we have done; it's something that PSV hasn't done, which is even worse. Oh man. Okay. I see a lot of discussion, by the way, between the viewers, so it's also a good thing. Let me check further. Yeah, Steve is mentioning basically in possession it was 3-4-2-1, but most of the game Ajax played 5-2-2-1.
But do you know what's crazy about that is that we're never in possession enough to notice it. We only ever see 5 at the back because we can't get the ball for long periods.
And
right?
it's a lot of horizontal passes, not even like vertical or in-depth passes. So that makes it easier to see how we played at the back. And yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's worrisome. On the other hand, yeah, this season is not something to write about at the end. Papi saying we are lacking creative players mostly. That's why we can't really create any opportunities. Did you see any creative players? I mean, what's creative? Who could you see as creative players at this moment during the game?
Tahirovic, obviously, he was trying his best to split the defensive passes, and he did. Obviously, a couple of assists, etc., and the big pass to Guy. Van der Bomen, I think, really tries to play passes, but he likes a really long pass a lot of the time, doesn't he, as well? But he played that ball to Bergwijn, I mentioned in the first half for that chance. And then, obviously, Hotspur, other than that,
nothing, huh?
Nothing I can remember because
not
it must not have happened.
Not even on the bench.
The thing is I don't even see when Berghuis comes back in inevitably. What happens? Does Linson get dropped? Does Hotz then go back to the bench? Personally, we need Berghuis, but we really need to change formation again or something because we can't not have Linson, who's been consistently for us the hardest worker, in my opinion, other than Robbie, really trying to make space for other people, and it works well with Berghuis. But then if you get if you got Hots that is willing to drive with the ball, you have to go back to 4, right? I don't understand how we can keep playing 5 if we have all these players
No, I
that
mean,
are good attacker players in a 5-back. It's
and that's what's worrying me the most, because the coach Van Schip said even if all the players are fit, we might have to play 5 at the back. We might have to still play a 5 at the back because we give away too much chances, and that's why we have to build in some security at the back for the defense to be able to not concede any
but
chances. But
but that's him, right? This is what I don't understand. He says
yeah,
this, and then he plays Taylor at left wing back. Like you're playing a non-defender at left wing back. If he played,
contradicting. It's contradicting.
if you play Hato at left wing back and then you defended just back 5, it can say, okay, he's playing Hato at left wing back. When Kaplan's back, when Sitalo's back, whatever, you're playing all these players, all defenders, then you could say, okay, he's obviously trying to not concede goals. You're playing Taylor at left wing back. What do you
Yeah,
think is going to happen? The guy couldn't defend as a 6. He can't even defend as an 8. Can't even defend as a 10. Well, how is he going to defend as a left wing back? Right, and then and also leading on to that, the poor man management. How do you think a left back, Sosa, and
like,
Kai, a right back, feeling that a centre midfielder is playing there? It's
yeah,
absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
yeah,
And listen, I appreciate everything you've done for us this season. I understand the personal issues he hasn't had. And everything like that. And he got us out from 18th, which is stupid. And then he got us to this point, and I absolutely appreciate it. But I feel like it's that new manager bounce. When you get a new manager, everything's all nice, all fresh. Everyone's a bit more motivated because there's opportunities. But now we've gone back into that slump where I don't even know if he's confident that he could do this. I don't know if he even knows what he wants from this team. Like, how, I don't know. You're putting trust into a centre midfielder to play left wing back. I don't understand it. That's the thing
I
that
feel you,
annoys me.
man. I feel you. I feel you.
And
Okay.
then what's even worse? Sorry, one more thing. What's even worse is Salah Ad-Din left. And if you were struggling with Sosa and you're struggling with, whoever playing left back, you should have just kept Salah Ad-Din and just played. But
yeah, I don't know what Van Schip has in his head, what kind of plans or whatever, but he's contradicting himself a lot of times. So, I mean, we
I'd
need to
rather
just
play 4-3-3, score as many as we can, or play an attacking formation, score as many as we can, than play a 5-back and still concede so many. It's amazing. It doesn't make any sense to
I
me.
mean, it's not helping. So the 5-man defense. So I'd rather than win with 5-3 than losing with 5-3 with 5 men at the back.
It's just, yeah, exactly. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
no, I get you. I get you. Okay, to get back to the game, who was for you the man of the match, and who was really poor from our side?
Does it have to be a man in the match for our team, or can I pick a Zwolle player?
You can choose. I mean, whatever you prefer.
Do you know what? For me, I would pick Tahirovic purely because he got the assist and he was playing forward with the ball and he was trying and he looked a bit clumsy defensively. And I know he slid when we conceded that goal, but he, played that big ball to Guy, and the assist and things like that. But Ramai was instrumental as well. I feel like, like I said at the start, so many games we play where if he's not there, we've conceded 5 or something like that. And some of the saves today were important, right? And even with the crosses, he was coming out, claiming the ball, having the confidence. And okay, I know recently people have been criticizing his playing from the back, so maybe his confidence has dropped a little bit, hence why there's more long balls. I don't know, but ultimately a goalkeeper has to save in the net before he plays with the feet, in my opinion. And he does that well. So I'll say Tahirovic, but Ramai was close for me. The rest of them, Hots was good. The rest of them poor. All of them. Yeah.
So okay, that's quite harsh, but fully agree with you on that as well. I mean, we were just poor. Giving you the last question, and that's an interesting one. The upcoming games that might be crucial will be against Go Ahead, Feyenoord, and Twente. Both games at home, Go Ahead and Twente, and Feyenoord in an away game. What are our chances against these opponents? And do you see us maintaining the 5th spot this season?
If we use this formation, with these players, with Taylor at the back, then no. Right?
Okay.
I see us. I the thing is with go ahead. You said it's at home, right?
Home match. Yeah, that's our
Yeah.
first game. Next game.
So
Thursday.
I feel like the quality we should. I say we should win that game, right? I mean, I was at the Fortuna one, and I would have said we would have won that one as well, but
Go
because
ahead.
you're at home,
Go ahead is doing well. I mean,
and this
they're,
is what I
they're
mean.
also one of our competitors, by the way. So if they win,
this is it.
They surpass us.
So I would like to say that home advantage means that we should win because we're Ajax. But if we play with Taylor at left wing back again and play this bum formation, stupidness, right? Then we've got no chance. I think we lose all three if we play the way we did today.
Okay, you said 0 points.
If we play like we did today with the formation,
assuming I mean, Van Schip, we won this game, so he'll probably keep this formation. He will keep this lineup. He won't. I mean, of course, Kaplan will come back, so he might play, and then we have to make some little changes. But in essence, it will be the same formation.
But he won't understand that today we were so lucky, right? Because they had a clear goal, wrongly disallowed, in my opinion.
He doesn't see that.
But and then if that counts, we then have 5 minutes or 4 minutes of having to defend.
Yeah,
to hold on to a lead.
I know. It could easily become a 3-3. Easily.
But he'll look at it as 3 points. Yeah, and yeah, it's 3 points, but it's not a good 3 points. It's just 3 points.
No,
right?
But
0 points. 0 points in 3 games if we play the way we did.
0 points. Okay. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with Luke? 0 points, or do you see us winning those games, etc., etc.? Very interesting to know how you think. Luke, thank you for giving us the time to express your feelings. I know it's being a hard time, especially
therapy session.
So therapy session, as you said. So let's hope on Thursday for some good news. You don't see it. It's going to be difficult, but let's wait and we will discuss this obviously during the live talk and the game talk on Thursday. So see you guys then on Thursday. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.
Peace.